and you can talk to anyone, but it's going to create confidence in people because they have it.
It's a webinar for others other than Start Your Life. So
well, it's not startyourlife.com. Everybody can go on startyourlife.com.
Got it right up.
Yeah.
You gotta be 15.
Yeah. Oh no, that's one of the Facebook groups that we can't get on.
It does talk about wanting to get people in that age group that are
Yes.
really talked about just taking that out of the webinar.
Yeah, it's focused, it's written for the age group.
Okay.
You can, it's just like Monday's meeting. It was Monday, that Monday meeting with Peter and Eric.
Yeah.
That was the verbiage.
Okay.
Exact verbiage, which you know they did an exact script, again, to be consistent and duplicatable. So if you're not speaking to that age group, you just take some of that.
But also one thing to remember, so one of the things I speak on for my other job is generations and like the differences in them, is that Generation Y, which is the start group, wants what every other generation, or they ask for what all the other generations want. So in the, like the business world, you know, we are entitled and all this different stuff, and we get all this like this bad rap. But the difference is that we ask for what other generations didn't know they could. So you could really leave all the start stuff in there, and I'm sure it would resonate with anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, what was interesting, I watched the different teams. And so there was Kelly, Tyler, Dickenhoof.
That's dangerous.
That's his name.
Yes. And don't forget it. I watched their group, and they only had start members in their group, and they were all pretty much the exact same look and age and everything, all first row, bam. Then I looked at Chris and Lori Carter, back row, again, same exact thing, same age, same everything. But then you brought in different people like Tom Smith and Jimmy Smith and Carol and Peter. And what they're doing is they're reaching down into this start group. And I think it's Tom Smith that it's like 3/4 of my group are the start group. And he's 70-something. And he's like, I'm just excited. My wife and I are just so excited. They just bring us excitement. He's like, somehow we started that, and then it just expanded. And it's such an incredible age that they're wanting to just gravitate towards what we have. And it's so easy. They don't think about it. They're not bringing all this head drama in. They're not questioning things. They're not trying to change it. They're like, what do we do and how do we do it? Okay, when then?
They also don't know what a parent's
Right.
like that's not in.
Right. Because they don't have all the skepticism.
Well,
We
network
didn't watch
marketing
that
is actually a
actually.
really good business to be in.
Yeah.
They're smart.
Well,
So
and that's it.
Yeah.
And they're getting that. And there's a huge mission for that right now, you know, from Eric Horry and several
And
other
it gives you
people
the
that.
flexibility that you want, the wealth that they want,
Here's the things you can trust.
all the things that they want,
See, that's
and they don't have to
creativity.
start.
Get rid of that.
This thing is wicked.
It just becoming beautiful. Sorry, Janet. It just makes sense. But right, that's exactly it. So they don't have that fear because nobody put that into their head. They're just like, you're offering me money and through help.
And I just have to help my friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And that generations are healthy anyway.
Right.
I mean, going to Chop Shop, going to all these restaurants, and everything, it's young people. It's Chop Shop in Old Town.
And fit.
They're all getting those juices. They're all skinny and they look good, and they're all working on in their yoga clothes. It's that generation. They're so healthy.
A lot of them just wear their yoga clothes on the weekends, I gotta tell you. I
Well,
used to be one of those.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Why wear anything else? I'm just maxi dresses right now, but otherwise it's
Why not?
But right, I mean, that's how they live. So this is just another aspect of their life. And, oh, I can make money, I don't have to go to work, and I can just play all day. They understand that concept. So they're not inbred with all this drama and negativity that we've had. They just do it. And so I really, really encourage to really step out and really focus on that age group. And many of you are already in that age group. And just connect. Just connect. So that's the other piece is connecting. And it's not necessarily something we talked about there, but what we're experiencing, a lot of you guys are experiencing it, I'm experiencing it. I think we experienced it with us not being together on a regular basis is we miss the connection. And so we're definitely talking about that on our calls with the leader or the 45-day personal development and just connecting, whoever it is, be present. Whether it's your kids, or your spouse, or a friend, or a team member, or whoever it is, just really seriously look at them in the eye and be with them. Set this aside. And I'm trying to get in the habit of not even having it. I kept this out just in case anyone needed the date code, but otherwise, I don't want it. I don't want it in front of me. I had a friend tell me one time, he's like, can you please put that away because I keep seeing the numbers, the time tick away. It's like, you're making my day tick away. Okay, all right. And connect. And Lisa made a comment a while ago, and it wasn't about me, but I took it in a very personal way, which I'm glad you said it. It's okay, I'm glad you said it. And you were talking about someone else that's a part of Isogenics, not in this room, and you're like, every time they spoke to me, I felt like they had an agenda. And I've been there. I'm like trying to make relationships because I want them in Isogenics. I'm trying to build a relationship because I want them in Isogenics. Like, stop that. Just become friends. So I tried that at the Phoenician this weekend, and I was just meeting people just to meet people. I did Facebook with them, and we're now friends with Facebook, and I mentioned I was part of network marketing because we were speaking about our jobs. That was it. I'm like, I just want to become friends with you. I really like you. You're a really cool girl. I like you. I want to hang out with you. And then we'll see where it goes. But I took away the agenda, and it was so relaxing. Actually, to not have that agenda in front of me. You've got to get them to sign up, or you've got to let them know what you do, or you need to do this.
Yeah.
Just let it happen naturally.
Just
It
let
can
it happen.
happen very fast. I mean, she's really involved on my page right now, and I just need to watch her page more, and it will happen naturally. Maybe I go out to lunch with her, whatever, and then it just begins. So you don't have to make it happen right away, but you build that relationship right away.
Because I know that I don't want somebody to act that way to me. I'm
Yeah, you
not
didn't
that
like it.
appreciative of somebody friending me because they have
Right.
an agenda of trying to,
Right.
something more.
Yeah, and we've talked about how to make these relationships happen, but I think overall, it's just so important to really just connect with someone. Just build that relationship, which is what a lot of the top achievers are trying to present. David Wood does it all the time. Kyle and Cash does it all the time. And it's like, just ask questions. Without having them ask questions, get to know them. They don't need to get to know you. If they want to get to know you, they can get to know you. Our girls at Willpower.
I gotta eat, sorry.
It smells like asparagus, so. You can eat over here.
Yeah, eat over here so we can watch you eat.
Keep talking.
Yeah. So, looking at my notes, one of the statements I wrote down was, I can't hear what you're saying. Your actions are speaking too loudly. Isn't it? Here's what we're saying. How do we treat someone? How do we make them feel? Here, I'm going to read it again. I can't hear what you're saying. Your actions speak too loudly. Because we focus on that. How did that person make me feel? And we know this stuff. None of this is new. We've known all of these things forever, but it's good to be reminded of these different things. And it's like, I don't know a thing that girl said to me, but how did she make me feel? That's what I'm going to remember. I really don't know the details. She started talking about all kinds of product and health and blah, blah, blah. But she made me feel good. She complimented me. She made me feel great. That's another part of my personal challenge. I have to compliment every day. And I have a girlfriend, Christine, taught me years ago, say 3 compliments a day, every day. And make it real, don't just try to fish for one. It's pretty easy to find a compliment for someone. Give 3 compliments every day, and that's part of this personal development, and part of how they're changing us is really taking away from looking at things in a negative way or dramatic way, and just making it very simple, and be the light, be the lighthouse, which lighthouses are everywhere, so I don't know if that's a thing or not. And be the light for other people, and make them feel good, and just connect with them, and then they're going to be drawn to us. And connect. So that was really some of the biggest things that I gained from event, other than kind of going into what Aaron talked about with, with the company and how good they are. I mean, we were treated so well. We had gifts brought to our room every single day, and not cheesy gifts. I mean, nice gifts, very nice gifts I'm going to hold on to. They got us this personal development program. They put their heart and soul into it. I don't know if they even slept for this program whatsoever. They had almost all of the main headquarter people there, corporate people, and they were up getting things ready for the room, ready to be positive attitude, very high energy attitude from at least 7 a.m. where we didn't show up until 9 a.m. And they were there afterwards, and their job was to reach out and touch and say, hi, how's it going? Are you doing okay? How are you doing with all of this? Any questions? Every single day for 5 days. Can you imagine having that behavior where you're on show? You know how we get at convention for 4 days, just sitting in the audience, you're exhausted. And they put on this show, and it was real. It was real for them. They really have genuine, real love for us, and it came through in so many ways. I mean, Kathy and Jim and Eric spoke on a regular basis, and Travis, Kevin, and Kevin Adams, and a few other people, and they just really just spoke. And they put everything they had into it, and then they came back and they did Super Saturdays, and they're doing ICUs, and they're doing this, and they're doing that, and there's no break for them whatsoever. It's just how do we get this team to know that we really love them, and what can we do for them? So, Aaron, when you brought that up and you talked about how you're really realizing how special they are and what they do, it was so evident. I mean, there was no question about it, and everyone that sat in that audience just knew. And they probably do know, because most of them, it's not their first time being in there. And when you go to one of these events, you do want to go every single time. For one, you're going to build relationships and build friendships, build that whole situation. Thanks, girls. I appreciate you guys being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let's schedule more. We'll continue with what we have, but let's schedule more of these and get back together. Have a great time, Greta. Oh,
See you in the morning.
Hawaii. Oh, fun. Yeah.
How long?
10 days.
When do you leave? Tomorrow morning. You and your husband?
That's it.
No, and another couple.
What I
Hawaii.
Oh, go there. Where you staying?
Princeton.
Oh, thanks.
Is that the north or?
Yeah, that's the north.
North
Just
side?
the rich, they just said look for movie stars. The altar. I'm like, whoa.
Take pictures.
They said bring my Hispanic cards. I was like, of course.
Of course.
I know you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys.
Bye, girls.
Thank you.
So then we had a leadership panel, and this was really only one of the one time we actually had other associates get up. And they were the new up and comers. We had Jill, of course, Jennifer Thompson Franklin. You guys may or may not know who I'm talking about, but you'll know her picture. She's the model where her hair is flowing, the blonde model. She's looking this way in the picture, and her hair is flowing. And you look at her and you're like, what am I going to learn from you? Again, judgment. Get rid of the judgment. That girl, the minute she was introduced, she just began, I think a year ago, she was 9-star platinum, 9-star principal executive, and she was loved by the audience. I'm like, looks can definitely be deceiving, because here she is, that prim and proper, walking around with these really tiny short shorts and beautiful legs and long. She was a model. Mother of 3, but a model, and has that statue and her body and everything about her. But she was so loved and adored. And so I was writing her my guys with Brad, and I'm like, I really need to learn more about her story. What is it about her that has helped her move so fast, but why is she loved as much as she is? Because she was seriously loved by that audience. So whatever she's doing, she really made an impact, a huge impact. There's Jessica Johnston, Alexis Romano, Tom Smith, and Kelly Higgins. I feel so bad, I'm really sorry. She is a part of our large team, so I feel like anyways. But they talked about a few different things were mentioned, so I just wrote down a couple different statements. And for one, and I was in this place, so it made sense to me. But I will preface this with Peter's talk of you don't have to be broken to come here.
I love that.
Yes, you don't have to be broken to change. However, if you cannot get broken, you cannot be fixed. So if you want to be fixed, you have to come from a broken standpoint in order to fix it. Because otherwise there's nothing to fix, right? So both situations work. So that was working for me because I probably have been the biggest breakdown I've ever had in the last couple of months. So timing has been absolutely incredible. Change has been absolutely incredible. And to go through this, and I stated on my call today, I'm 10 weeks into this remodel. Mother's Day, I asked our children different things that they loved about me. Tyler had nothing to say. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, I can't be mad at him. That's my fault. He had nothing to say about me that he was grateful for. I didn't spend much time with him that day, and I didn't spend much time with him the day before, probably the day before. So I spent time with him the next day, and he automatically said things to me that he was grateful for me without me asking. Like, all those kids need is just a little bit of love and a little bit of attention, and that relationship is embedded. That's all that took. Wow, how interesting was that? So going from a broken place to being able to be fixed can actually happen very fast. As soon as you make that decision, I want to be fixed and want to change, and I'm going to do whatever I can to change it.
I'm sorry.
What's that?
Can you repeat those?
The words? If you can't, this is what I wrote down, it's bad grammar, but if you can't get broken, you cannot get fixed. Not, yeah. Oh, Peta said, and you were there, you don't have to be broken to be here. You don't have to be broken to gain. Because a lot of us in this room especially weren't necessarily broken when we came to Isogenics. We were fine. We had good lives, we had good health, we had good situations. And so what she was bringing the point about is you don't have to be in a bad situation to want to change. Everything can be perfectly fine, but you still want something better. You still want more.
Because that's
Get more.
So that's my question, So are they saying then that you need to find, not necessarily what's broken, but there's things broken that you need to kind of accept in order for it to be
I
fixed?
think what PETA,
These are two
So
different.
not what Peter says, the other one, we're taking the
These
other
are two
one.
different things. So let's go in that direction.
Right.
So I can only take it from I won't say right, because that's my story. But, we can talk about it, but I couldn't make changes until I realized I was broken. I couldn't, because I thought it was fine.
what did you say
I
last
thought
time?
it was good.
Whatever you said last time was really good. I'm uncomfortable, which means change is coming or something.
Yes,
Which is-
right.
Whenever you're uncomfortable, and it can happen at any time, whether you're changing your health, whether you're changing your business, whenever you're uncomfortable, a lot of people shy away from that and just ignore it or try and do something different, but when you're uncomfortable, that means that great changes are going to happen if you choose to make them.
Right.
So that could be
So recognizing.
recognizing it and not feeling shame or guilt. So in your business, I think, even just picking up that phone call or that phone and stumbling and making mistakes, well, you're uncomfortable, you're going to grow, you're making changes. But I think truly what you're talking about, Stephanie, is moving from a place of authenticity. So I think a lot of times in this business, we think we need to put on a sales pitch, or we need to show or something. That honestly, if you just take 3 deep breaths, just come from a really, your soul and a place of authenticity, things will happen the way God and the universe want.
I honestly think that's why I've had so much success.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just, I
Yeah.
finally wanted to share it with other people, and they're like, oh, I want what you have,
Right.
you know, versus me having to sell it.
Right. And Raquel, I think to answer your question, we all come get stuff, you know, you don't have to have like this, like I'm going through bankruptcy or any big things, but you could just have a day where you had a return. Like I had a return yesterday and I went, you know, and I'm not, I guess that I had two, like I had an enrollment last night on my team and another enrollment happening tomorrow. And you know, so that's what that place of like uncomfortable, like frustration and going, well, you know, no, it's okay, you know, just kind of, that's the broken part, right? And it doesn't have to be the fact that, you know, you're being forced to, you know, the
Did you
big
go to
stories.
the start?
Yeah.
So you, yeah.
And I
You just
really-
go like, my life was good, and it's okay to want more.
Well, I understood that one, but it was the other one that I was more.
Yeah, well, and again, you know, it's just my story right now, and I've gone through some, and not for any particular reason, it's just emotion, hitting me, bang, 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 and digging deep, where we haven't had our meetings, I haven't been making phone calls, the income's still coming in, and thank you guys very much for that, because my income keeps growing, which is fabulous, but that's still not good, you know, it's really hard to accept those large checks when I'm not doing anything at the same time, that's difficult, and so just be. At a certain, I don't think at a certain level you can be okay with that, but it's not necessarily the amount of time you put into it, as long as you're participating, as long as you're helping, it's not right to just accept without looking.
Right.
Yeah, and not that I haven't been giving, because, you know, there's still been many things going on, but in the same way or the way that I want. But what's been interesting for me on a very personal level is my husband, and, you know, and we're eating food. I know I'm waiting for my 30-day challenge to drop these 5 pounds from this vacation visit. I'm like, seriously, I've never been more ready for that weekend visit in my life. But it's horrible. Don't eat for 4 days after vacation. It's bad. Like there are no vegetables. There are no vegetables on this menu, Brad. I had to break down last night. No, it was awful.
You brought your shakes with you.
Well, we did, but still, you know, you have kids, you have to go out. But anyways, he has found me more sexy now than ever before, and it's because I've become vulnerable. I've had a breakdown where I felt like I could be the man. I've calmed down, and I'm letting him take his role. And it's crazy how our relationship is turning right now because he's seeing that vulnerability that he's never seen, and he's taking that on. So I took it, and that's the way I took it because I was that broken. But it was amazing how fast it's just able to change around. As soon as you decide, I want to change. I don't want this anymore. I don't like this. I don't like who I am. It's just pure stress. Way back at my house, I don't know. So that was interesting. Some other things are teach them what we know and how to do. They've talked about that. The other one is whatever you say yes.
Whatever.
If you're going to respond in any way, you say yes. Not no, not maybe, not don't think about it. Yes.
Whenever you're gonna respond.
Someone asks you for whatever, anything. It's not no, maybe, I'll think about it. It's yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Or you work today.
What's that? Yeah, it's fine. But really, I mean, and actually you have me thinking about that, and if someone asked me, could I borrow $20, and if I looked in the eye and they really needed that $20, I don't think I would second guess that. I really don't think I would.
That's 3,000. So within reason.
Yeah, so, right, I was
Within
saying.
reason, yes, within reason, if it's legal.
You're right. And, you know, and that, to kind of piggyback on that a little bit, I was a couple of months ago, before all the remodeling happened, I was in a place where I really was donating Jill and Betsy talk a lot, and the company talks a lot about giving and giving as much as you possibly can and giving even more. And I was at that place, and I was just giving and giving and giving and donating and donating, and it was great. It was like the biggest high I've ever had. And then my husband actually killed it for me because he's not at that point. He's like, what do you mean you're donating that? What do you mean you're giving them that much money? And I'm like, oh. So we had a fight. And we're like, okay, well, we gotta work past this, but this is all just a little thing that we'll work past, but that really was a huge thing to be able to just say yes. If someone wanted something, okay. Look at Linda, she's like, what can I ask for?
Choose wisely.
There was no choose wisely. There was, you need this.
So this reminds us of just a couple of years ago when we were working together, and at any time, like Stephanie went to Cushman Pro, she gave me some, like, you could do the call Tuesday on this. And like, you had to say yes, right? You didn't even want, I didn't want to.
Right.
But just saying yes to those opportunities, you prepared for it, you know, right? Sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
asking everything right now.
Well, Victoria always said when she was doing the celebration, she always said that I never could say number 7.
She didn't either.
She might not have been happy about it, didn't want to say yes.
She never said no. Never, ever. It was always a. And so, speaking of that, I'm going to wrap this up, and I am going to call on someone. I need to write down all of the number of people that showed up. And one of you will have the pleasure of teaching me +2 to the group before we finish the evening. And so we're going to try and do that every time. I had somebody do that at the last backyard opportunity meeting. And how did you feel about that?
I ended up volunteering because nobody wanted to do that. Well, it was really just myself and Annie. And I was like, go ahead, Annie. She's like, go ahead, Simon. And we were like looking at you, and I was like, I'll go. Because I needed the practice. And then I was really glad that I did it.
Right, and you did great, and you did really good, and everybody in the audience understood it, and it was like, I can do this at any time. And so if you would have just said
They were
yes.
nice. And
Right, so we will start to do that on a regular basis, to kind of get people a little bit uncomfortable, but also get very comfortable with doing it so that we can do it any time.
Because I had never done it on a whiteboard. I had never drawn it, stand up on a whiteboard like that.
Right. And if you can all visualize, which is the one you did, PETA's drawing a gift. So you take your person who gives the gift, and then you share it with 2 people, and then they give the gift. And she actually has a little box with a ribbon and gift. And just changing that has been huge. And it is a gift, and really understanding versus, and we talk a lot about this at Top Achievers, we talk a lot about the French Riviera. And Rod and David both got up. And Rod Harrison is the one that's running the personal development. David Wood is one of our master trainers. And both of them were like, guys, stop working so hard to get the French Riviera. The French Riviera is your reward for changing people's lives. Work on changing people's lives and take that French Riviera as the reward. That's your bonus for doing that. It's like, from now on, I don't want to hear anyone else talking about running for the French Riviera or working towards the French Riviera. The personal development man and David Wood.
It's a great review.
That's what I
really
really
like
like.
yourself.
Yeah.
Very smart.
I think when you focus
It's
so much on
not
that.
about that. It's not about gaining a trip that you're going to love and have those memories. It's about the lives that you're changing. Yeah, and in order to reach that trip, you're going to change a lot of lives. It's a lot of lives. It's not just a few. It's a lot. And so they really got us to focus on that over the stated every day and multiple times throughout the day. And multiple people were like, be the light. Be the lighthouse. Be that light that people can just look at you and feel better. Be the light. We don't have to have all these roles. We just have to do the little rah-rah, the motivating, the supporting, and just get them into a good place. And to have the light shine so that they can take it and make other people. And that's it. That's our job. If you want to really think about what our job is. And it was so evident. Thank you, Jessica.
I was trying to leave it.
Nice, no problem.
She just tried to get out of you.
I know. know. So some of the things that some of those people were doing, and we're almost finished, were big time social media. Many of them do a lot on social media. Many of them, what's the new girl's name? So I forgot her name, really short, black hair, really cute. Oh, I cannot think of her name. Simple systems. Again, half of them got up there and they're like, I just keep this simple. And you look at them and you're like, you absolutely do. There's no question. I don't question anything about what you just said. You really do keep it simple. Your life is so calm and relaxed. I can see that. You're just keeping it step by step by step. Enroll them. Tell them how to enroll their friends. And then tell their friends how to enroll their friends.
And then let them go.
And then let them go. Right. Being consistent, having daily habits, working hard every day, having trainings, and having team groups. We talked about what Jill and Jessica Johnston and Jennifer Conklin are doing, is they are doing the private messaging threads, and I think most of you are on the Rocket Leaders right now. And many of them are doing that, half of them are doing that. But then I also sat next to Warren Lance and Herb Cepeda, which was actually fabulous for many reasons. And they looked at me and they're like, are you doing that? I'm like, no. And they're like, I don't think I can do that. That's way too hard. That's a lot of work. And he's like, I just want to do a couple meetings with a couple key people a week. So whatever works for you was what I got out of that. Whatever works for you. If you want to do the threads and be doing that all day long, that's great. And you connect with a lot of people and it works. And there's no question about it. It works. It gets people motivated. It gets them involved. They're interacting. Or if you want to have a couple meetings with a couple of key people or find a couple of key people, that works too. So it's really just whatever you want to do, what fits into your life. And all of them, or for the most part, I fit this into my life. And all the people Brad and I connected with, which is when Brad changed, when Brad crossed the line of becoming I drank the Kool-Aid, and I'm now going to be an isogenics man, is hearing the stories of people having a life, working a few hours a day, being with their kids, riding bikes, hiking, climbing mountains, whatever they're doing, but having the life. And that's when the light bulb was like, I got it. I work hard during those couple hours. I could work hard to get there, work for a couple hours. Where else are you going to have that? And seriously, guys, where else are we going to have these benefits? So if you ever question anything, if you ever have any skepticism on the program, the company, the financial part, whatever it is, really think, where else are you going to get all the solutions that this company offers, all the benefits that they're going to offer, all the team, all the different things that we're gaining? Has anyone had it before? No, I haven't had you.
Say yes, Erin.
Okay. Well, no.
Oh,
Okay,
right, that's why you don't want to say
yes. But seriously, has anyone had it before where you have all of that, the package? I've strived to have it. I've strived really hard to
What's the
have it.
package? I think we're all sitting here because
So-
we want it.
Right, exactly. But occasionally the thought comes up. The negative thought comes up, the head drama comes up. Do I really want to be here? Do I really want to work this hard? Is it worth it? So try to remember this moment and try to remember where you started from and what you have, because really there is nothing else out there. This really is incredible, and in the life that those people are leading, just absolutely amazing. And it's pushing me to get there quickly.
I have
To
find
change
one like
lives.
myself, because I who love the products as much as I do.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing, is you have to find people that are more,
So just talk to every single hiker you meet every morning,
yeah.
or pick
Well, that's the
three
thing,
people
is I
every
see
morning.
see the same people
Yeah.
all the time. And, you know, people might recognize, you know, my shirt and I've run into some people that say, oh, isogenics, I'm doing that, you know, and
Right.
some girls. And so many people, my hiking is rubbing off on me. So I thought, maybe I should start my own little hiking group.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if I did something like that, then I could, you know, sort of
Right.
But it's really those connections. I mean, for
It
me, like, I took it for granted that I have people that I've been using the products for the last 2 years. They still use them. because they're people who I've connected with, you know, that they trust me, they have a relationship with.
Yeah.
And so that part of being authentic is like, that's just, I never could get like going out and cold calling people. Like that just would have never worked with me. You know? But I could talk to anybody, anywhere, anytime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
And that's where I'm trying to get to.
So, we just like wonder twins. Like I can just talk to them and they just like clueless to do. Or you're like unstoppable.
Now, don't take away from the cold calling situation because, and we've all talked about it, God gives us relationships for a reason. So there might be a cold situation that you were meant to connect with them.
Yeah, I don't mean like any, like I
But just to
said,
pick a
I
phone
have
book
like
and start
shared-
calling
right,
them.
I
Right.
always have to connect.
Right.
We'll connect in some way. Could be a
Yes.
grocery line about olive oil or, you know,
Right.
or an airplane, just basically. on
She's
something.
speaking because she's
Those-
made relationships from people
It truly
picking
does,
out olive
right?
oil or sitting on the plane with or anything like that.
And each one of those, like, the times where it's worked is when I wasn't looking to bring them into business.
Right.
It was just, I felt so compelled that if I left them without letting them know,
Right.
I would have been really, like, upset with myself. Like, I still think about people like, why did they share that with me? It's so unfair to me. Not because I wanted their business, but because it could help them.
Right.
So if somebody asks you, what do you do? What do you tell them?
Well, I could say, but I'd like to hear, you know, who has something? What do you say?
I have a wellness company.
Pardon?
I own a wellness company.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
That's just
great.
shifted this weekend, by the way. just so
And
you
now
know.
that we're bringing in ISO Mind and Body, how perfect
Yeah.
is that?
That just shifted
And then
this
did they, when you say that,
Oh,
how do you
well,
listen?
What do you do?
Right, because that's a power statement.
You know,
It's
something
not
else I
gonna
just
question
heard
that.
recently, PK Smith, I'm on a training with him, if somebody says, well, what do you do? Well, what would you like me to help you with? What would you like me to do? And then people are gonna go, well, I need to lose 50 pounds. And I'll give it that. Actually, I had my Angie shirt on yesterday,
Uh-huh.
right on my boob. It says, we have solutions, says, you know, I have solutions for you, it says blah, blah, whatever. It's on my boob.
Right?
And I was at Safeway and I was exhausted, and this young gal who looked very unhealthy, you know, judgment statement, but just not good coloring and all that. I could tell she was checking me out, but she was like looking at my boob. And so I'm kind of out of it. I was like, oh. And she goes, can you help somebody with anorexia? And I said, do you suffer from anorexia? And she goes, I think I might. I said, let me get you my card. And I said, give me a call. Yeah, it just comes from a place of authenticity. But I own a wellness company, but you do own your own company.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but that kind of shifted, that verbiage just shifted and it just happened this weekend.
That's pretty amazing.
And then what you're saying, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And with those little words, you connected with her, where you made her feel relief.
I do too.
Just in very few words, can you help me with anorexia? I think I might.
And because I said, what I said to her was, it's a nutritional cleansing program, so yes, you have amazing nutrition. And that was it. So, I mean, I don't know what she'll call. I still work, like in that situation, like, what do I, like, when people online go, can you give me her name and number? I'm still working on that, but I did give her my card, so.
Okay. And you can always add, you know, why don't you write down your name and number and I'll call you tomorrow,
Yeah.
or tonight, or, you know.
I find that because like, it
It's
gives,
better that way, yes.
well, another reason why is because a lot of times when we call, you
Right.
still feel like you want to help her.
Sure.
If there's something you're like, oh God, I can't.
Yeah, and actually, I would probably go back and say, hey, I didn't get your name and number.
Yeah.
Let me get that from you, get that from you, so.
Or like you give her a card and say that, you just take out another one of your cards and say, when's your number and that this card.
Yeah.
At Jill's meeting a while back, I don't remember who spoke, but she said, oh, what's your Facebook name? And she invited
Right
her.
there.
Yeah.
Right then and there.
Yeah, that works really well. As soon as you have connection, and I was doing that at the Phoenician all weekend. And I'm like, you know, I really would like to continue this relationship. You're fun. You want to connect on Facebook? Absolutely. And we both found each other, you know, different
Some people
ways.
are, may not want to
Right.
give their number.
Sonia just did that. Sonia, you want to
So
share your
I've been doing that
experience?
lately.
Yeah.
I have a couple. I just had one yesterday too. I need to add this for our group. Well, which one?
Well, just because I was there.
Oh, with the girl.
Yeah.
At Chop Shop.
Yeah.
I like the Chop Shop. I
Yes.
love it. I love it. But we went for a bite to eat, and
Can't go yet.
I know, I can't go anywhere.
she's super cute and
And she was young. So what?
young,
what did
super
you-
cute. So
Yeah. What
we
did you say?
chit-chatted when we were placing our orders, and all three of us, and Stephanie was familiar with the degree that she's going for.
Sustainability.
She goes to ASU.
Sustainability.
Yeah,
What's her name?
Rebecca. Rulo. And Rebecca is spelled very differently. Rabekha. Yeah, so she wrote it down. Anyway, so I had a good excuse to go back up and talk to her. I was like, and Stephanie was like, I'll go with you. I'm like, come see you. And I just said, what did I say? Something like, you know, we're commenting how sweet you are, and beautiful, and we just came from this great meeting with, that had a lot of people very much like you, and she goes, are they in sustainability? Is it a sustainability meeting or something like that? And I'm like, well, kind of, they all want to eat healthy organic food. And I said, are you familiar with isogenics? She was like, oh, yeah. And I said, oh, how? And she goes, well, I used to run the juice bar for this company, for this place in Texas, I think. And she goes, but that's not really for me. I don't know. I like to do my own thing. But then I still said, well, would you like to learn more about the company? And she was like, sure. And I said, can I find you on Facebook? Do you have a Facebook page? She said, yeah, I'll write my name down so you can find me. I said, because I know it's spelled, your name is spelled differently, so how do you spell it? She goes, I'll write it down for you so you can find me. That was it. I was like, okay, I'll find you, I'll friend request you, and I'll send you some info. So I sent her, yeah. And then I sent her the link for the start videos and you know, a private message. But then yesterday, I was hiking and I met this guy, and he had this, I'm going to put a post in Game Changers and add him, but he had this mask on. And my son has used those for training. And so I knew what it was. And we stopped and I passed it and he's like breathing. So it mimics, yeah, it's really loud, but it mimics elevation. So I passed him and I was like, good job, you can do it, just keep going. He's like, thanks. And I came to turn around and I said, are you training for something? He said, yeah. And I was like, you going to the top? He was like, yeah. So I waited for him at the top.
I'll wait for you, don't worry.
Thunderbird Park.
Oh.
And long story short, we chatted. He was interested. I said, what are you doing for nutrition? He's hiking in Colorado, Pikes Peak, Colorado in July, so he's training for that. I said, what are you doing for nutrition? Oh, just eating fruits, vegetables, and protein 6 times a day, and I'm just hiking.
It's a lot of eating, let me tell you.
Yeah. And anyway, I said, are you on Facebook? He said, yeah. So I said, let me find you. And he's like, yeah, that's me right there. And I said, do you work at Thunderbird Hospital? Because it had it under his name. And he said, yeah. And I go, what do you do? And he said, I'm a respiratory therapist. And I go, do you know Fabian Marietta? He was like, yeah. And I go, that's my son. So he worked with my oldest boy. My son's a respiratory therapist. He's now in San Diego. But he said, we graduated from Apollo together and we both got hired at Thunderbird. I go, this was meant to be, right? So he accepted my request this morning.
Right.
Was he familiar with isogenics?
No, but he got it excited and he's very interested.
Wow.
Because then I told him, you know, one of my good friends hikes the Grand Canyon. He's like, I'm doing that next year. And I'm like, you're going to love these products.
So, I mean, how amazing and how heartwarming is that for both of you? And now Fabian too.
What a small world, right?
Yeah.
And then on Sunday I was hiking, and I was like, I took the thing from the meeting on Saturday where this girl made it her goal to meet 3 new people, and I think she friend requested them on Facebook, 3 new people a day. And so I was coming down the mountain with these 3 young gals, and we're going by, and I say hi to everybody, but they were like, hi, you know, like super happy, sweet. Most people were just like, bye. So I went back and I got my phone ready and I'm like, I'm gonna friend request them on Facebook. They're not on Facebook. Yeah. Check.
So Google.
So one girl said, you can email me.
LinkedIn.
And I got my notes ready on my phone because I didn't have anything with me. I was not prepared with got her name and her email, and then the other girl said, you can text me. She gave her her cell phone number. And then the other girl says, I'm familiar with isogenics. I've used it. The doctor I work with sells it in his office. It's Dr. Angel Chick. And I said, do you know Heather Daniels? And she's like, no, does she work there? And I said, no, but I know that they've done like a table, they posted a table, because I saw that Heather had posted it before. It's a plastic surgeon's office. She was like, I need to use it again. I'm like, well, you can tell them how great it is while you guys get up to the top.
Good.
And they're all young, so I'm just sending them the link for the start videos, and it's the website. So I'm like, look around.
Next time we're not going to.
I'll get it.
No, exactly. All right, Linda, I want you to pick a number.
I'm gonna jam, I've got to get home to someone.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I should have thought
Thank
of
you,
it.
thank you. We will do the, let's do that, let's do. Linda, pick a number, let's just go 1, oh no, just pick a low number between 1 and 10. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's do for who's here. I'm not going to make them do that. 1, 2, 3, 4,